start.
This is my third video on how to make beautiful lace coffee dye, but this time we're going to be doing it on large craft paper bags. G'day, I'm Donna from Australia, and I always keep my craft packing paper and large shopping bags. And while I've got my coffee bath out, I'm going to take advantage and throw in some Glassine bags. To get started, just pull your bags apart or cut them. You'll need an old paintbrush and of course your plastic lace pieces. I've got these pieces available in my shop at the moment. They're 6 A4 pieces to a pack. I've put the link in the description box below for you. You'll also get a piece or two with these very fine holes in them, and this is how good it looks when you coffee dye them. And just quickly before we start, this is my personal plastic lace collection. I've got some beautiful old vintage pieces as well as new from Spotlight in Australia. Start by putting as much coffee as you want in a container. I'm putting 2 very large spoons in with a little bit of hot water and I stir it around. You can see it's pretty dark, but when you put it on the paper, it doesn't always turn out as dark as it looks. So I'm adding some more hot water. I don't need too much because the paper bags I've got are too big to fit in this container. So I've put some in this old sauce bottle. The coffee's already in there, so I'm just twirling it around to dissolve it. Now I put my bag down on the table and I'm just going to pour the coffee water right over the bag. And this is why you need an old paintbrush. Just spread it around. You don't really need to submerge this in the bath water. This technique works perfectly. I'm lifting it up to get the bubbles out because when you put your plastic lace on, if you've got bubbles under there, you're not going to get a very good contact. So this is a vintage doily that I got from my friend Deb. Thanks, Deb. I've used this a couple of times now. I love it. I'm going to add a little bit more coffee water on the top and use the paintbrush to make sure that it's nice and flat. These are some offcuts of my vintage lace and I'm just going to fill in the ends here and I'll use these for embellishments. Before I do the rest, and while my water is still hot, I'm going to get these Glassine bags and I'm just going to push them into the water. I'm not going to leave them in there. I don't need them to be that wet. Once I've laid them out on the table, I wet my plastic lace and lay it over the top. Brush over it with your paintbrush and that'll give you much better contact. I've also got some copy paper here. I put it in the coffee water and then lay it right on top of my lace pieces. You can do this technique with a layer on top or not. I've wet these craft bags here and put some lace on them. These are the vintage plastic lace and this is the new plastic lace from Spotlight. You can get this by the metre. It's forecasted to be really hot here today in Australia. So all I'm going to do now is walk away and do not touch these until they are perfectly dry. Now I know you're going to do this. You are going to come back in an hour and I'm going to tell you they'll still be wet. So no peeking. Do not lift that plastic lace. Look how hot it is in here today. It's so cruel. But anyway, it's an advantage because I love to put my papers on this table on a really hot day. The top layer of these Glassine bags are dry, so I'm going to take them off. And that way, the hot air is going to get through the lace and dry these Glassine bags a lot quicker. And I suppose you're wondering, how do you know when they're properly dry? Well, I'm going to take this one off and show you that it is still wet in the middle. It's lifting and it appears to be dry, but it's not. This one is dry to the touch, so I'm gently going to peel the plastic lace off. And this is a piece I got from Spotlight, and it leaves an impression on the top side and underneath. And the paper is my recycled packaging paper. This is another piece from Spotlight. You get that nice contrast of the coffee. If you want it more grungy, just make the coffee that you pour over the top a lot stronger. And it didn't leave a very good impression on the back because this is a very thick craft paper bag. An update on the temperature, we've had a blackout. So I figured I'll check to see if everything's dry, and it is. So I start peeling off the plastic, and I'm going to bring everything inside, and when the power comes back on, I'll show you the finished results. Power's back on. These are the two top pieces I put on the Glassine bags. Nothing is wasted. Even though they're not pretty, they're grungy enough to use in a journal. And this is how the packing paper turned out. Remember, it was all crunched up. The lace transferred on both the top and underneath. The Glassine bags turned out great. I used all different plastic laces. Some have turned out dark and some have turned out light. I love it when I get some dark ones and some light ones. It's a good variety to have for your journals. And this is a close-up of the plastic lace pieces that I've got available in my shop at the moment. This one here on the right is in the shop, and the one in the left is from my own collection. So feel free to go and have a look and see if it's something you would like to add to your stash.
The moon is smiling so bright. Everyone snuggled so tight. The day is done, and soon you'll see the sun. But tonight, the moon is smiling so bright. You're safe in your bed. Let go of your thoughts and just rest your head. You've had a big day, and in the morning you'll start again. But tonight, the moon is smiling so bright. May you sleep soft and sweet. May you sleep so peacefully. May you dream of all your favorite things. Your favorite things. The birds are nestled in